Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the most recent developments, what they mean in the short term, what they mean in the long term, where it goes from here. We're going to talk about a resolution, what a resolution will actually look like, because I feel like people might have a misconception about what the end of this actually looks like. And just kind of run through everything. If you have missed the news, despite U.S. advice to the contrary, Israel has determined that after the fighting in the most recent flare-up, that they will maintain, I believe they're calling them security responsibilities for Gaza, continuing the trend of making the exact same mistakes the U.S. did after 2001. Maintaining security responsibility means troops, means a lot of interaction, a lot of close contact, a lot of moments for things to go wrong. That's what it means. Now, the statement was that it was for an indefinite period of time. People have taken that to mean forever. I actually think in context that means for an unknown amount of time. But rest assured, it won't be a short amount. It won't be a short amount of time. As far as what this means in the short term, it can go in a whole bunch of different directions. None of them are really good. And for the long term, the one thing that is basically all but guaranteed at this point is that this cycle will continue for at least another generation. Another generation with their youth up in smoke. Almost guaranteed. There's still a chance, but it's really, really small. And there are people who believe that their side, whichever side is theirs, they still believe they're right there. They're going to get victory. They're going to get there. They won't. They won't. Long term, they won't, because they have unattainable victory conditions. That hasn't changed. In fact, nothing has changed. Nothing. So, with that in mind, I would like to talk a moment about what peace would actually look like when it finally comes. Because I think people have a misconception. I am certain that there will be no parades. There will be no flags waving. There will be no celebrations. It will not be a situation where the troops, again, whichever side, where they are marching with honor because they have won, because they are victorious. There is no military solution to this. If you want to know what peace would look like, you need to forget any idea you have in your mind about a celebration, about flags waving, about parties in the street and people dancing, because it's not what it looks like. Peace in these type of conflicts, that's not what happens. It's not a celebration. It is absolutely heartbreaking. If you want to know what it's going to look like, you need to turn your eyes to Ireland. Because right now, there are people who lost loved ones during the Troubles. And those incidents were being investigated. But now those investigations, they're going to stop. They're going to stop. Because if you want to move on from the cyclical kind of violence, you have to look forward. You can't look back. The historical injustices, when peace becomes a priority, they don't matter as much. Because at some point, people decide it is more important to protect the next generation and stop their youth from going up in smoke. It's more important to protect them than it is to avenge the past. And that means that there are a lot of injustices that they don't even get investigated. Some of those investigations in Ireland, some of them would have led to the determination that, well, that was combat. Some of them absolutely would have been determined to be something else. But it is unlikely that the investigations even occur, they even finish, much less a prosecution. And it is heartbreaking for those involved. No doubt. But that's what this kind of peace looks like. Because it focuses on reconciliation and moving forward. Not slogans. Not slogans that reinforce unattainable victory conditions that just keep the cycle going. Decisions that were made over the last month all but guarantee another generation loses their youth, loses their childhood. Conflicts like this, they are inherently complex. And generally, people try to simplify them, which is what humans do. In the process of doing so, they often promote a slogan, for lack of a better word. They promote an idea that deals with justice and fair play and what's right and wrong and all of that. If those words mean more than the lives, the youth of the next generation, I don't know that people know what those words mean. The end of this, and again, it does not matter which side. There is no victory. There is no military solution to this. That's not how this ends. It doesn't end in parades. It ends in heartbreak. It ends with officials going to the parents of somebody who was sitting at home watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when two people burst in with masks. It ends with those officials telling that person's parents that it's not going to be investigated. And if that sounds really specific, it's because that's actually one of the investigations being called off. That's what it looks like. Until people are ready to acknowledge that, this will continue. This will continue. It is a complex topic, and it doesn't have anything to do with right and wrong. If people continue to try to force right and wrong and morality and all of that stuff into it, it will just continue for another generation. After this one it's already lost. It's going to happen. If the Israeli forces do a good enough job to where they feel like they have achieved victory, at most, they're going to buy 5 years. And then it all starts over again. There is no military solution. No parades, just heartbreak. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.